Hey, what's up? Well, nothing's up here, but a lot of it came down. I don't know, can you see the snow outside the window? We got like 7 to 8 inches of this stuff. In a previous video, I was showing you my cast iron wall that I was building in my kitchen. This picture here is the wall that I made in my house in Arkansas. I didn't do any video of me, cutting all the wood and staining it and everything. Let me show you how I did it. First, I needed to measure the width of the wall. 4 feet. Perfect. That way, I only had to buy an 8-foot long board. Now to measure top to bottom. That's where it gets to be a little tricky. Well, my design has a 2 of 6. One at the top, one at the bottom. Then in between the 2 of 6s, I have a 2 of 4. So since I had a general measurement from the top to the bottom, I took the width of 2 2 by 6s and subtracted it from that measurement. Then I took what was remaining of that measurement and divided it by 3.5 inches, which is the width of a 2 by 4, and then I adjusted accordingly so I know how many 2 by 4s I needed. Now once I got all the measurements figured out, I cut the 2 by 4s and the 2 by 6s in half. Well, not exactly in half, they're probably off maybe a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch. But I have over an inch to play with here. Then I took each board and ran it through my planer till it was down to 1 inch. So basically I took a 1/2 inch off of it. Why would I plane it down to 1 inch? I don't know. That's how I made the one in Arkansas, so that's the way I'm making it in Missouri. So I took each board and cut them to length. Then I lightly sanded each side just to kind of smooth it off and get rid of any splinters or little bumps in there, anything like that. Now that I got all my boards cut to length, I got to find out where I'm going to drill my holes. Now the end of this board and this end of this board will screw into studs, and there is a stud in the middle, but it's a little bit offset that I can screw this to. So I'm going to put one screw in the middle. Now for the screw in the middle, it's easy. I just take the measurement, whatever it was, come down here, mark it, okay, then I come down here, do half of this, mark it, then I take my punch right here, put it on there, bang. See, there's a little dent right there. That way I know right where the drill bit goes. But for the ends, whoa, I made me a jig. See there? I don't know if you can see these 2 little holes right there. But this here slides right over the end of the 2 by 4. See that? Slides right on there. Then I take my punch, put it in there. Now you can see my 2 places right there. That's where the drill bit goes. I do that on both ends of all 19 of these boards. Now I didn't build a jig for the 2 by 6s because there's only 2 of those, so I measured them out and punched them. So now I have 21 boards that I need to drill 5 holes in each one of them. That's a total of 105 holes. As you can see, I don't really have a table on my drill press, and it would be a pain in the butt to have to hold this level, and then bring this down to drill it. No, I had to figure out something. So I got me this piece of OSB. It's just a little bit wider than a 2 by 4, and I can lay this on there, and it'll support it. Then I can line up the drill press over here where I need to, and then drill the hole. So I do that 5 times on each board, and it makes a nice little countersunk hole there. I guess you can see that there. Now that I got all the holes drilled and everything, now it's time to finish each board. Now I'm just gonna do it on this short piece right here instead of a great big long piece to save a lot of time. But when I burned the original boards, I put them outside on some landscape timbers. Then I took my weed burner, what they call it, and I burned them all there. I'm gonna burn this one here with this right here. Basically, I'm just trying to raise the grain in there. So I just follow along. Just do it to your liking. Now once those boards cooled off and everything, I brought them back to the shop and I wiped each one down. Just wiping it down, to get that black off of it. But I get it all wiped down. Now I'm using a pretty dark stain. It's red mahogany. And I got my brush right here. Now you don't want to just full on, put stain on here because it's just gonna cover everything and it'll just all be dark. So what I did was, let me move this out of the way, take just a little bit of that stain, get it clean there, and I just kind of blotted it along the board, and then I just took a towel and basically just rubbed it in there. That way it still shows the grains. Let me get this other side here. Get all that rubbed in there really good. Then take another towel, you know, maybe just wipe it down a little bit. A little bit more came off there. Then, as you saw in the last video, I just leaned them all up against the bench. This is what this one here looks like. But I let them air out 2 or 3 days in here because I don't want that stain smell inside my house. Now that them boards have aired out, they don't stink anymore. It's time to get them put up on the wall. Now I didn't video me doing this, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Well, the first thing I did was put in this top 2x6 right here. See, there's a screw there, but there's one in behind this sign here, and there's one there behind that one there, and there's another one up there. But I put it in, I made sure it was level, and then I have this yellow sign here that my daughter-in-law gave me 2 or 3 years ago. Then I took it and slid it in between the top of this board and this trim right here. It fit right in there, and I didn't even have to fasten it. You could say it's snug. Then from there, I just started putting the 2x4s up. 2 screws on each end, one kind of in the middle that's offset. I just kind of made sure that they were level or close to level as I was putting them up. Now I didn't buy top of the line 2x4s, but I didn't buy bottom of the line either. I bought one grade up from bottom of the line. I didn't want perfect boards. I wanted boards that had defects, you know, like just little dents in them or knots and stuff. Here, let me show you. You know, right there. See how it kind of goes down a little bit? You know, it does show the sheetrock from behind it. But you know, there's knots like right there. Hey, there's one right there. There's a big one right there. I think it just gives it character. Makes it look older. You know, makes it look like it's been there quite a few years. That kind of that rustic look, I guess. See that plug right there? That's what made this tricky. I wanted that bottom 2x6 to be close to that plug. You know, so I had that measurement there. Then I had to figure out how many 2x4s went in there. Well, when it first came out, that if I would have put the 2x6 in there with that last 2x4, it would have been over that plug. So I'm going to tell you a little secret, but don't tell anyone. I had to cut a tiny bit off that bottom 2x6. But you saw how close it was to the top of that plug frame. I think I did pretty good. So now to the fun part. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for brackets to hang the skillets from. As you can see, I drew out the wall. It's pretty much to scale too. So for my calculations, I should probably be able to put 4 bars there. My last one I built only had 3, but I've added like another 1.5 to 2 feet onto this. So I should be able to get 1 more bar on there. Now how am I going to do these bars? You're probably looking at these things right here. What this is a black 4 flange. Man, that's hard to say, but it's 1/2 inch. Then right here, I got a street 90 is what they call this. And then I got this little adapter here that's for a 1/2 inch EMT conduit, which is like for electrical stuff, you know, the commercial stuff. So I went ahead and got all these screwed into here, and I'll show you right here. This comes off here. It's kind of like it's just a compression fitting. It's got a little sleeve in there. Put it on there. Put this on. Whoa! This just screws onto there, and it'll hold that pipe in there. But I got to figure out where I'm going to put these at on the wall. So let's get to that. Well, the video I shot of me putting up these bars right here, it just didn't make sense. I mean, even I couldn't make sense of it, and I'm the one that made it. So guess what I was going to do? Show and tell. I'm going to show you how I did it. Then I'm going to tell you how I did it, if that makes sense. Well, the first thing you got to do is figure out where you're going to put your bars at. I started with my first one. It's way up there. I'm not going to show you how I put this on up there because I'm about to stand on a ladder and then try to hold the camera. First thing you want to do is you want to find out where you're going to locate your flange and where the bars are going to go out to the other side. So once you find out where you want your flange to be, you drill a hole for it. I'm actually using a centering drill bit like this here. Then I'm coming back with another drill bit that's longer so I can get in deeper for the screws. Then screw 1 screw in. Now you got that 1 screw in there, and what I would do is I would just line that up, and I'd go ahead and pre-drill my other 3 holes, but I didn't put the screws in them. Now you want to come to this other side to mount the flange. So what I did there is I'd put my leveling device on there, and then I would raise this up and down until it's level down here. Then I would drill a hole in here and put one screw in there. Get it where I want it to be, really make sure that screw's tight. Then I drilled the other 3 holes and I went ahead and put all 4 screws in here. So now I have that flange down there screwed in with all 4 screws. Then I got this flange here screwed in with only 1 screw. But I need to remove this flange, but first I need to figure out how long this piece of conduit needs to be here. So I just kind of looked inside the fitting to figure out about where to measure from, because that's where the conduit would slide in. And I'd measure from here down to there, and I'd get a measurement. Then I'd take about 1/8 of an inch off. Then I'd use the tubing cutter to cut this. You could use a hacksaw, or if you got some kind of chop saw or something to cut this, you know, just use whatever you have. I have a tubing cutter. Makes a good clean cut. Then once you get your tube cut, you're going to take the nut and the compression washer off of these fittings, and you're going to slide it on. You know, this one here would slide on that way. Then that one down there would slide on. Then you take your 1 screw out of this flange right here. It comes off the wall. Then slide your pipe into that fitting down there, and then slide this one in on there. That way it's locked in between the fittings. Then take your flange up here and put that screw back in there. Don't put it tight. Go ahead and put your other 3 screws in, then tighten them all up. Then slide the compression sleeve down, then slide the nut down, screw it on there. You got a sturdy bar. Now, I don't know if I mentioned before, but I'm OCD and I wanted these 4 screw holes to be like that there, and everything lined up. It says 1/2 inch back here. See, I wanted that to be just like that. But sometimes this Street 90 is not gonna screw in and be perfect. I guess if you wanted to crank down on them with a pipe wrench or something and, you know, make them real tight, but they don't need to be tight. Every one of these they're in there loose. They're not really tight on there. They're not wiggling because this pipe right here, once you tighten up this nut and that sleeve on there, it tightens it up. I'm going to use this bar here as an example. So let's say I got that top bar up there in, then I figure out what skillets I want to put on there. So I put them on there, and then that there lets me know where I can put the next bar in. So I put it just a little bit below the level there, and I put this first flange on, and then I did exactly what I just showed you. I put that flange on down there, I measured out the bar, put it in between the deal, you know, and just put it all on there, and it's sturdy. So here it is all finished. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good, even though I'm probably biased because it's mine. Well, now you know what I went through to make all this. I started it before Christmas. It just, you know, like I mentioned, you know, my back problems, but I do what I can, a little bit every day or every other day. But I finally got this done. This is something that I've been wanting to put in here when we first looked at one of these models on the sales lot. I thought that there'd be a perfect place to put my cast iron wall. And now I got it. And now, if you want to build one in your house, you know how to do it. Cutting the wood, to burning the wood, to staining the wood, to hanging it up, and all the hardware and stuff. If you want to, you just do your own design, okay? This is just how I do mine, and you can get ideas from this. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. Hey, and leave me a comment. If you got any questions, ask them. I'll answer them. I love to interact with people. And you know what I always say, see ya!